What's up, Barnhill family, and welcome back to your home for all things combat sports.
Yo.
So, Nick, we got a great fight coming up this weekend. Shavkhat Rakhmonov versus Geoff Neal. I think Geoff Neal presents the biggest threat to Rakhmonov's undefeated and 100% finish rate record. What do you make of this fight, and do you think Shavkhat Rakhmonov is going to keep the unbeaten streak alive?
I love it. It's a great matchup, and I think this whole entire main card is really, really stacked. 285 is just an awesome card, but this fight to me feels like it could be one of those fight of the night type of situations, but I'm also sort of leaning towards this could be Shavkat Rakhmonov's coming out party. Now, nobody gets Geoff Neal out of there easily. Geoff Neal is as tough as they get. He's a grizzled vet. He knows how to win fights. He knows how to win rounds, and when you're only working with 3 rounds, it can be very difficult against Geoff Neal because he can go in there and just steal 2, and now you're playing catch up. So I think that Shavkat really does have to be precise like he's always been in every one of his pro fights so far, but Geoff Neal does have a tougher task at hand. I think that Shavkat Rakhmonov is so good on the ground that nobody wants to go to the ground with him. And then they realize that his striking is just as good, if not better, than his ground game. So then they find themselves just kind of hopeless, looking for somewhere to take this fight that they can potentially have an advantage. And then you realize quickly that there is no place. You know, he's just as good in the clinch, and all of his striking is really buttoned up. Plus his submission skills are out of this world. So I think Geoff Neal, to win this fight, really has to stick to a sharp game plan of long straight punches, because the one criticism that I have of Shavkat Rakhmonov is he doesn't have a ton of head movement. He's really good at getting his own striking off, but his head movement isn't the best. He doesn't really come off the center line all that much, and usually overhands and straight long punches can find their home if they are thrown properly at the right times, and Geoff Neal is very good at doing those couple of things. However, I do think that Shavkat Rakhmonov has all the skills to become a UFC champion, and Geoff Neal is a very tough opponent, the right next opponent for him, but something's telling me that Shavkat Rakhmonov is going to get his hand raised in this one, and it's going to be an epic performance.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Shavkat having his coming out party as well. I think Geoff Neal presents a serious threat. He didn't get the nickname Hands of Steel for no reason. He has a lot of power in his hands, and much like Shavkat Rakhmonov, Vicente Luque is also a very well-rounded fighter. He's got great submissions. He's got great knockouts. He's very athletic, and Geoff Neal was able to find a clean shot on him and put him away. So he certainly, with the proper shot, can put Shavkat down, can hurt Shavkat. But I think Rakhmonov is too calculated of a fighter to really engage in that sort of a brawl. And he's kind of a tall guy for 170. I expect him to be long. I expect him to keep the distance, and I expect him to look for the takedowns. Now, he can get knockout victories. As we've seen, he's got 16 wins, 8 of them by knockout, 8 of them by submission. It's literally a perfectly balanced 100% finish record, which is something that's actually really remarkable. But I think he's going to get submission number 9 in this fight rather than knockout number 9. And that's not to say that he can't get in there and strike with Geoff Neal. I just think that the disparity in skill is going to be more pronounced in the grappling spectrum than it is in the striking realm. So I expect Shavkat to know that as well and try to get Geoff Neal to the ground, not take too much damage, not to take too many hard shots, because even if you win the fight against Geoff Neal, but if you go in there and have a war and have a brawl, that can carry over to your next couple fights. That can carry over to your recovery time. And thus far, Shavkat hasn't really absorbed any damage, and I think he'd like to keep it that way, especially with Khamzat Chimaev looking like he's making a permanent move to 85. That does kind of open things up at 170 for Rakhmonov, and if he gets this signature victory that I'm predicting him to get, it could be off to the races, and we could be talking about him as a serious title contender come Sunday morning.
Yeah, I think the more high percentage way to finish this fight for Shavkat would be to go for a submission. However, everybody knows that the casual UFC fan, and even Dana White has come out and said it many, many times, he likes finishes that come from the feet. He loves brutal knockouts. He loves some ground and pound that finishes the fight. Anything like that, he always, and the UFC casual fans always kind of put over submissions and over anything else as far as finishes go. So I think Rakhmonov realizes that, look, I'm batting 100. I've got a perfect record, all finishes, and I'm not getting near the attention of somebody like a Khamzat Chimaev. I need to go do something real impressive. It's very hard to get in there and outstrike somebody who has the nickname Hands of Steel, but I do think Shavkat has the skills to do it, and I think he understands that being on the UFC's pay-per-view main card is a big opportunity for him, and the only way to move up is to get more knockouts, and I think he's going to come out there looking to finish Geoff Neal on the feet with some really good striking and really put on an epic performance that people are going to remember for a long time.
So we're both picking Shavkat. We're just picking different methods of victory.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching this video, guys. We're your hub for all things combat sports. If that's your jam, we appreciate a subscribe and a like on the video, and drop us a comment down below. We'll see you next time.
Peace.